Howdy folks, welcome back to another video. This is a video, as you can tell from the title and the thumbnail, at least I hope you can, that this is the machining and assembly and manufacturing or fabrication of a special tool. This is a special tool that's made out of a pair of expanding, or I should say outside spreading vice grips. The number on them is PE6 and the brand is Strong Grip. As you can see, they expand outwards when you clamp them together as opposed to a standard pair of vice grips that does the opposite. I'm going to show you what these are for right up front, and then we're going to go ahead and show you the clips of making it, machining it, and putting it together. And then we will come back and discuss a few details about it. Now what it's for is if you have a carburetor like this Valkyrie carb here, and this is the other pair of the four of them that viewer sent me, the first two, and I have a video on that, and I'll put a card here and also a link in the description. To seal off the small holes, the transition circuit holes on the slow circuit inside the bore, so you can pressurize this, kind of reverse pressurize that to get a broken tip of a pilot screw or a slow screw out, which is exactly what I did in that other video on two carb bodies just like this. I came up with a different way of blocking those holes off, which you'll see in that video, but I wanted to come up with a better way to do that because I blocked everything else off and I was having a real hard time with those. That's what this tool is for. That's why it's an expanding pair of vice grips. So how this works simply is this. You can see that you have a kind of a bird mouth the way I machined this out. You have aluminum on this side. You have steel on this side. This is 1045. And then you have a piece of rubber, in this case, which is a piece of an old motorcycle tire tube. And then what I normally do is, I figured out what I should do is I should put a piece of tape on this side to keep it from scratching up any bores of the carburetor, because this side's already taken care of with the rubber. And then you just open up the butterflies like that. You don't need to do anything with the spring. You don't need to remove the butterflies, nothing. You shove it in the appropriate depth. Make sure you cover in those holes. And you give it a squeeze, and that's going to need to be a little bit tighter, but you get my idea. Give it a squeeze, and there you go. There is a video of this in use, and it's going to be a separate video. And I will show you that at another time because I'm working on, I haven't even started the editing on it. I'm working on the editing of this video. But in that particular video, I was not successful in getting this tip out of, not this carburetor, but its mating carb. The other two of the four that the viewer said the tips broke off, and remember I fixed those two and I shipped them back. This one may not be savable. These are the other two. This one didn't even have a broken tip in it. It must have come out when he put it in his ultrasonic and didn't notice it. But it's most definitely the pair that he said did have a broken tip in it. The other one, I completely destroyed that carb body. And I'll tell you right up front, I did. I'm going to solve it, and I'll show you how I solve it in that video, but that'll have to wait for another time. So as you can see, this is how it works. Like I said, I showed you what it's for and how it works. Now we're going to go over the machining part of it, and then we'll cover some details after that. That ain't no good. The hell is that? Got it. I think you got the gist of what I was going for when I was machining this, but I did stop the machining video clips at the time that I was working on this aluminum section, the other side of this jaw. The reason why was because I did a little machining and I said, you know what, I'm not even sure this is going to work, because I originally was going to split that with the slitting saw rather, as you saw. Then I just came up with machining a flat on this and wanting to mount it directly up to here, because I milled this section of the original part of this body of this tool to accommodate that. But again, I wasn't sure how I was going to secure it. So I came up with originally, which you'll see in the next video, or I should say the video where I screw up that carb. I originally had this that I made just temporarily to put in there, and it doesn't yield a lot of room where you can shove this thing in far enough, and it bumps into the carb body. I can't get the depth that I need, and the reason why there's a thread there is because originally this has a thread like this one, and there's the genesis of this right there. It has a thread like that, which is 5/16 18, and that was originally this. This is the original part that comes with it, and for doing whatever you do with it to expand it out. And it had a flat piece, as you can see in the machining videos that I took off, that it would kind of articulate, very similar to this, which is where I got the idea for that. So this had a little bit of threads left in it. So I had this in here, that just held this on, didn't do a very good job. So I came up with this, I just made this out of bronze, countersinked it, and it's flush with the inside there, as you can see. And I think that'll work out really well, especially since the fact, like I said, we're gonna be covering this up with a piece of tape whenever we use it so we don't mar anything up or scratch anything inside the carb. Why I drilled and tapped an M6 hole for a set screw. As you can see, this flops around a little bit. Now that is to adjust the attitude of the parallelism of these two jaws. Depends on what size carb body you got, obviously. So if you have this spread out like this, and this thing was not in a situation where it was adjustable or it stopped, it has essentially a stop on it, it would just angle itself and it wouldn't seal nothing. And what I mean by that is just back off this screw, you can see that this thing will go quite a bit forward. So that's going to go inside their cattywampus, and it's not going to do anything to help us. And I'm not sure what the parallelism is going to be depending on what the diameter of the carb body is. The range of this is not very great because this thing's really not going to fit into a smaller bore very well, but it would fit in a bigger one. So what I can do, let's say it's a much bigger bore. What I can do is I can take that bore, set it close, and then adjust this so it comes out. And so it's relatively parallel. As you can see right there, when the thing is held in place, when it's all the way out, it's relatively parallel. Obviously this is exaggerated, but you get what I mean. So we can back this off, and in a smaller bore like this one, we can put it in. We get the tape on there again so we don't scratch this one up, because this is the good carburetor. And you can put this in, and again you can see that it doesn't want to sit right. So we are going to tighten it up even more. And once you do that, it comes parallel, and then you got yourself a situation where the thing should seal off no problem. And that was the objective here, to do that. And there you go. So again, back to these, this is the genesis of how I came up with the idea. What these are is a tool designed really to remove brake caliper pistons on motorcycles. They're more designed for the split calipers you can get right up in there. But if you had a caliper like this, which is a magnet caliper, in those cases I take this out and just use them just like this. And if you have the piston out a certain amount, you can reach in and essentially get enough of a purchase on there to pull these pistons out. That's what I bought these for originally, and these are from ELS, expensivelightweightstuff.com. I believe he still does sell these. I'll put a link to his website in the description. He's got a lot of good excuse me, ZX stuff and ZRX stuff as far as special tools go. That's where that came from, and that's why I came up with it this way. So this worked pretty well, and you'll see in the other video that it did work. Unfortunately, I destroyed the carb body that I was working on. Not this one. I destroyed this one. And I'm not going to show you too much of it here because I want to wait for that video. But this was a complete unsuccessful failure. But I never shy away from showing you my mistakes. And I made a huge mistake on that one. And I had to get very aggressive with it because I couldn't get it out the traditional way with the pressure. But you'll see everything in that video on it. But I do have a solution to fix it, which you'll see there as well. So I hope you liked this video, got something out of it. If you did, you know what you need to do. Please like, share, and subscribe. And we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks for watching.